Welcome to episode 138 of But I Know the DJ, the original New England podcast discussing all things DJing, music, nightlife, business, and pop culture, the unfiltered opinions of host Snacks.
Give me snacks, baby.
DJ Cammy V.
What's up, pimp?
So good to be back. Welcome, everybody watching us live, watching us on YouTube, listening to us on all places where you get your podcasts. This episode is presented by Heavy Hits. Heavy Hits is a record pool and music discovery platform exclusively for DJs and music producers. It's a one-stop shop for finding the perfect tracks for any of your events, gigs, mixes, anything that you got going on. Thank you so much for partnering with us, Heavy Hits. And finally, yes, everyone was asking last episode, we do have a special offering for our listeners. Use Heavy Hits code BIKTDJ to cut your first month subscription to just $5. Thank you so much, Heavy Hits. Once again, get on that. We have been showing the fire that you can find on the record pool. So please have some fun. Have at it for just $5 off your first month. So again, if you already have an existing month or existing subscription to Heavy Hits, you will probably need to find a way to get a new one. And get $5 on only be able to pay for $5 on that first month. So you're welcome. Thank you so much for listening. Share it around. Share this episode around. And tell them that we sent you.
Dude, Heavy Hits is the best. Dude, I'm feeling a little generous today. Snacks, I'm feeling a little generous today.
Good guy syndrome.
Good guy syndrome. Should I up the ante?
Absolutely.
All right, tell you what. Chat. On YouTube, whoever the number one commenter is on this YouTube video tonight in the live chat, I'll cover your first month of Heavy Hits.
Wow. Great guy.
Thank you. I feel like Mr. Beast.
DJ Cammy.
Love it, love it, love it. So make your way. We are live on YouTube as well. So as Cammy V said, if you make your way onto the YouTube, and the top commenter on this episode will, Cammy will take care of your first month on Heavy Hits. So thank you so much. And we want to just roll into the show. So much going on, so much to talk about as always on our bi-weekly podcast here. And one thing that I found out that has kind of been like trickling around the country that we've seen is venues going down, venues closing. In the last 2 weeks, I think since our last episode, I've heard of two that are going down. One has been announced, the other one hasn't. So I'm just gonna, not really mention what those are. And we find ourselves asking why. And two, as when a venue goes down, that's usually typically a residency that goes down. That's typically a potential gig that goes down. So as DJs, how do we maneuver that? How do we bounce back from that? If you I know last year, I think I lost 3 residencies in 1 year. And I was like, God damn, that's like fucking crazy. Like, again, how do you maneuver that? How do you bounce back? And I remember there was a point when it was kind of not all falling apart, but like it was all just kind of happening all at once. And I was like, oh, okay, like looking at my past few months, looking at my next few months, like how do I project? How do I protect myself?
Right.
What type of position am I keeping myself in to be able to remain safe? What is kind of your opinion on keeping yourself in a good position, and what are some of the best practices that a DJ could have to protect themselves for something like that?
Dude, I think it's twofold, right? I think one, it's more inward, where we preach this all the time. You got to diversify your portfolio. You got to be diverse. If you're an open format DJ, that means you can do more gigs than pretty much any other DJ should be able to. As if like you were a specialist, there's only X amount of gigs to go around, as opposed to if you're an open format DJ. So keep your skills sharp, and that will open more doors for you. So keep your skills sharp in all different genres and being able to do multiple gigs. That leads to the ability to do more gigs. So that's one. Two, dude, as competitive as DJing is, it really is a tight-knit community. Mm-hmm. And through the years, you can't really survive on your own unless you have good relationships with other DJs. Yeah.
I always said never rely on one person or one entity. Mm-hmm. I think it's good to have a residency. It's good to have weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever your structure is, but really think about what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it's being done, and kind of, are you relying on it too much? You know what I'm saying? Is someone else determining how busy you are? Think about that. You know what I mean? When we're self-employed or we're our own bosses, really think about, am I my own boss? Am I really in control?
Right.
Because if anything can happen. I mean, I saw, this happened last year where an incident happened at one of my residencies, and out of nowhere it had to close for a couple months.
Right.
How do I maneuver that? If I have things coming up and certain dates coming up that are so soon, can I fill those quickly? Can I fill them at all? Right. And so with that being said, like from the beginning, like I could be doing weekly residencies or anything like that, but I specifically choose not to move things around, get other people in my residencies, spread the love, share the love, get our programming a little bit more diversified, but also like I do not want to rely on one thing, put all my eggs in one basket. And so I think like, for instance, of these 2 venues that I just learned closed, the first thing I thought was like, oh, there's a few people that I'm like,
they're going to be in trouble.
They're going to be in trouble where like this is kind of where they live or where they, a lot of their work or a lot of their leverage kind of lives. And so I think, again, diversifying yourself, not putting your eggs in one basket, try other things, try other venues, try other residencies, and each, like not all gigs are treated equally, right? You might have to do some gigs to be like, okay, like I want to make sure that I'm in this rotation. I want to make sure that I'm in front of this crowd that's a little bit different. I want to make sure that I'm keeping my crates updated, keeping my DJing sharp, challenging myself, right? It can be very easy to get comfortable and be like, yo, I'm just to stick with these 2-3 spots, that this is what I do week in and week out, month to month to month, and I'm comfortable here. I know them, they know me. But what happens if lightning strikes on all 3 of them? Where are you?
Right. Yeah. The landlord ups the rent and venue has to close, like something like it's all possible.
Like in a different market, shout out Dylan. Dylan is our Houston, our resident Houston liaison.
H-Town, baby.
Big, super popular club, Camp. You informed me is closing. And for those who don't know, Camp out in Houston, huge hip hop nightclub, sectioned out, outdoor, really huge venue. But you can run down a name of celebrities and rappers that have been there. Closing. For me, seemingly out of nowhere. Like, do you have any insight from?
I think the biggest thing was that, like, of course, I think just Houston itself is already changing the market itself. There has been like places have been getting more expensive, not as much as Boston, but there has places been getting more expensive with nightlife. We already know the word that Gen Z is not drinking as much anymore. Section's not as big anymore. Where Camp is such a big outdoor venue, it relies a lot on sections.
Yeah, it's a huge section
like,
type venue.
It boomed after like COVID because that's when it like really like popped off. But like
because they could be open before everyone else because it was outdoors.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really the only spot to go was Camp and somewhere else. But like Camp was the place to go. But like like now we're seeing that Gen Z's not drinking anymore, and then just rents getting more expensive in Houston. Yeah, like a lot of these places got closed. The Address is also another famous spot that closed in Houston. Really good spot. That it was a bar and grill, but that place is closing due to like rent prices. So, yeah, it's like kind of crazy to see like these places that survived COVID, but not surviving the after COVID effects.
Yeah, people don't realize like who aren't in nightlife or understand hospitality or restaurant, bar, nightclub business that, especially regionally, like how much it costs to be able to keep the doors open and what kind and why certain things might charge what they charge. We talk about the obvious stuff is like food and liquor prices, the margins, right? Most establishments actually make most of their money on liquor. On alcohol. That margin is the thing that keeps a lot of places doors open. So obviously, we're seeing the drop in liquor sales. So that has a huge thing to do with. But specifically into Boston, the permits are almost impossible to obtain. Yeah, and the amount of permits that you need to be able to have, the startup costs we're talking about just to open the doors is in the millions. Right, and so and there's only a certain amount. There's a limit on how many of these permits are given out.
Can be given in the city.
Yeah,
period.
To be given out in the city. Period. And so it is very, very strict, very, very tight knit, for better or for worse. But that's why in Boston, like a lot of people don't realize. I'll see on TikTok, these 3 venues are all terrible, and it's like actually they're all owned by the same people.
Group. Yeah.
They're all owned by the same people. Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's like, dude, imagine trying to be a small business owner. Mm-hmm. Like you have these multi-million-dollar companies that can just buy up whatever venue.
Yeah. And then that's what happens.
And because they already own other venues, I'm not factually correct on this, but I think because they have other venues, they either have priority or it's easier for them. The license, there might be some carryover there.
You can carry over licenses. So if you have one, you can start like spreading it around.
So
different venues.
So it's really screwing the little guy out there.
Well, that's why, again, speaking of Boston specifically, there are very few, like very, 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 very few
Family owned.
family owned or like, partner owned venues. A majority of them are groups.
Yep.
And when you start really peeling back, the curtain, you're like, oh, these 5 spots are just owned by the same group, by the same people. And, that's why they kind of look similar. Oh, that's why they're run similar. Oh, that's why the staff just mixes around once you start really paying attention, you start really, really noticing that. And so it's really, really difficult for, new places, new concepts. That's why, again, a lot of like, when we think about like the Boston Seaport, a lot of these like venues are like just the same thing. A lot of the restaurants, just the same thing.
Rinse, repeat.
Rinse and repeat, because it's just the same people that are like, oh, it worked over here, so let's just make another version of it over there.
And then in 5 years, there's a new trend. They close and they go with the whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Where like I think about a place like DC, I mentioned a lot, where you can get a lot of like concepts, like there's like, oh, a funky ass, 80s inspired arcade bar restaurant that's over here, and it was just someone's kind of passion project that they were able to open with some money and a loan from their uncle, and now they're able to do it. Like that doesn't really exist in certain markets, our market being one of them. And so when it comes to like, then it trickles down, right? When it comes to like, let's say you're a DJ that's trying to build community and kind of find like a niche, you have a style, you have a need, like let's say, okay, I want to do an 80s night. There is no 80s bar that is like where we can just like fully connect, and it's just me and the owner like trying to make something happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's much harder to do, because you just got to deal with groups. You got to deal with politics. You got to deal with, oh, we cannot do that because we have to make a certain amount of money, because with the group, it is like shareholders or certain quotas or certain numbers that we have to, the rent is crazy.
There's a lot of red tape.
A lot of red tape. You know what I'm saying? So I see a lot on social media of kind of the Joe Schmo, like that doesn't really know what the fuck is going on, talking about like, why are these parties like this? Why do they charge like this? Why is it $40 to go over here? Why does a drink cost $20 over there? Like that's why. And so think about the people that that are maybe trying to do something about it, maybe trying to do their own event, maybe trying to do something at a venue that's maybe a little bit non-traditional. Find those communities and really support them, because those are the things that ultimately over time will be able to allow these things to change. So, very, very like hard thing to kind of grasp as a DJ, what type of things am I doing? What type of people am I getting involved with? Short term, long term. How does that affect my individual career? How does it affect the community at large? And then how does it affect nightlife at large?
Yep.
Let's see. We have a comment. DJ Bobblehead, not sure about Boston, but South Coast, Mass, the smaller bars seem to be taking over the nightlife scene, places that can bring costs down with less overhead. Yeah, that's so true. I talked about this. I talked about this before, where
the resurrection of the dive bar.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like what they're like. If you take out middlemen, right? So like, if there's a really big 600 person nightclub in the middle of the city, and it's like, okay, we're trying to be open four nights a week, and each night has its own promoter and their own producer and their own DJ and whatever. These are the numbers that they ultimately need to hit. Oftentimes, a lot of these venues, to be able to throw a night there, okay, we need this bar minimum.
Right.
The bar needs to make $10K, let's say, $10K. If it doesn't make $10K, you pay the difference. So let's say me and Cammy trying to throw a party. We're like, hey, you keep the bar, we keep the door. And because we just want to get bodies in there, we do, it's a 300 person spot. We get 100 comps, and then 200 people buy tickets. Okay, we have 300 people there, but do the math. If we need to do 10K at the bar, each person needs to spend 80, X amount, like blah, 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 blah. So 50, like we have an awesome party, 300 people show up, but the bar only made 8K. So now we have to pay the venue 2K. Why would we keep doing this party? You know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, oh my God, that party was awesome. Like, we love that party. We love when you guys DJ. Why aren't you guys doing that party every week? Because we're going to lose $2,000 every week. It's just that's how.
That's why people ask me about curated all the time.
yeah, pretty much. No, pretty much. So like
Joe, bring it back. It's like, dude, you don't think that paying for fucking top quality videographers and the best DJs trying to fly them in throughout the country, you think that's cheap?
So it's like, once you really start understanding that, you see why things are happening or why they're not happening. So then going back to the comment, Bobblehead, and we seeing some of these smaller venues where there are no promoters. It's small enough or it's local enough where that community shows up anyway. So then it's really just the owner and the DJ. There is no promoter.
No middleman.
There's no middleman. So sometimes those venues
Pay more
because of that, because they don't have to pay 5 other people. They can just be like, hey, the DJ brings 20 people every time. We can only fit 150 people anyway, and we bring 100 people no matter what.
Money trickles down.
So we're able to pay them just that much more. And the bar makes whatever it needs to make, and we're happy to be able to do what we're doing and blah, 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 blah. There are times and there's certain markets where that's the case. Why am I getting better pay at the place that holds 200 people versus a place that holds 1,000 people? But then you start looking at the hierarchy of the responsibilities. You know, it's something to really understand. And that's why we're really trying to break this down, because I know that there's younger DJs trying to figure out what they want to do, what path they want to take. And, you know, especially when you're trying to do it full time and do it as a career, understanding the economics and the politics that can determine how much money you make one year versus another year. The type of people that you're going to go work with versus the people that you might only take a chance on here and there. You know, it's something that hopefully we're able to break down and is a little bit more clear to you. And that's the type of free game that we're trying to give over here. Hey, yo, what up? Dylan, any thoughts, comments before we continue, Cammy?
No, I'm good.
Oh man, he hit it.
Usually do. And so speaking about building community, you know, we talked so much at length. You know, recently we talked to EPKs. We've talked about, you know, value. DJs getting booked, why they're not getting booked. And something that I've been thinking about recently is you know, followers. Do followers still matter? You know, I know a lot of us, so, you know, some people pay for followers. Some people earn followers. Some people randomly get followers out of nowhere. Do followers still matter? And I want the listeners to really think about this. Whether you're inspired by another DJ or whether there's a DJ that you like to go to their events or whatever, does their follower count matter? Like, I remember 5 years ago, it was the biggest, most important thing ever. And I know a lot of DJs who aren't getting bookings are like, oh, God, I don't have the followers. They got the followers. Cammy, as someone who books, like, what are your thoughts?
I'll say this. I think it matters more when I know they're fake followers, because it tells me what kind of person you are. If I'm like, dude, you got 150,000 followers, and I go look at your videos, and you have like 10 views with maybe a like from your mom on it, I'm like, all right, well, what are we doing here, man?
Certified in the comments says no, retention does, and I think absolutely. I think that's I mean, 3 words, but very well said. Because again, you can have the you know, a high number. I don't know what you said, 150,000 and stuff, but if it's not converting, whether it's, we don't even have to say tickets, right?
Yeah.
Viewership, comments, support. Again, community is a big word that we've said 20 times in this show already. That if they're not pulling up, you know, and we're talking about fractions, right? We're talking about percentages, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 1%. Like let's say I got 150,000 followers. Listen, I'm not a math guy. We've known this in the last shows. 1% of that. Okay, cool. If I have 10,000 followers and 50% shows up,
that's great.
What's more valuable?
Yeah.
Right? And so in this age of, okay, we need bodies. People aren't drinking, so we just need people. We need, you know, feedback. We need people talking about the next trending party, the next trending event, the next trending DJ, the next trending whatever. Retention. Yeah, retention is, it really, really is the word.
I'd say, again, another phrase is like organic engagement, or organic community, I guess, for lack of a better term. Because again, dude, like if you're faking the funk, it's like, all right, bro, obviously you're trying to compensate or hide something. But if like, you shouldn't have to pay for followers or anything like that. Like, I should be able to go to your page, dude. If you can rock, you can rock. If you got some engagement, you got some love in the comments from real people. Yeah. Dude, that to me means way more than, okay, I got 150,000 followers.
Yeah, 100%. And so the question for DJs, you know, or Dylan, you had something?
I wanted to also add that just because you know you have a lot of followers doesn't mean you match the right brand for that certain venue, so for that certain type of party. Yeah. Branding, your online presence and your physical presence really matter. So at the end of the day, you like, if you don't match the brand for what they're going to choose, to be like, hey, man, like, you might have like 10K followers, but this guy right here, he's R&B. I'm looking for an R&B DJ. All of his videos is R&B. He's done R&B events. He might have like 3K followers, but I know he can also bring people because his guest list is already good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to bring him because he matches the brand. Just an example.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And so for those listening, when you try and think about it for yourself, think about what is the community that you should be building. So again, what is the product that you're trying to sell? And then what is the community that you need to be able to build that? And what are different paths that you can take to be able to build those things? I think a great example for us is this podcast, right? We, work on this podcast. We've been doing this podcast a really, really long time. And we have this community of other DJs for the most part that listen, tune in, interact with us. Shout out to those who are interacting with us now. But people in the comments on Instagram, and more often than not, it's people coming up to us and be like, yo, like, terrible take you had on the show, but I listen, or like, hey, like, I really listen, I really enjoy, or we love the pod, you know what I mean? So for us, that is our version of a community that we're building. And so for us, like, we are happy to be thought leaders in our space and be able to provide, game. And so we have a community of DJs that fuck with us. I personally, speaking for myself, I have gotten gigs off of people who listen to the show and are like, yo, I want to fuck with you. Like, thank you so much. We love the show. Like, can you come over here? Can we book you for X, Y, and Z? Like that is a version of a community building method that you could take. I know DJ Sticks, for example, shout out DJ Sticks. He does weekly open decks at Tiki Rock. Yeah. Right. So he's building a community, again, of DJs for people who are trying to get into the game, trying to work on their skills. And now he is seen as kind of like a godfather or a leader in that space. TikTok Live community, online streaming communities where they might not be performing much and IRL, but they have this crazy online community, 400,000 followers, and all their streams get fucking 10,000 views. Like, that's their online community. And so if they have that online community and they're like, yo, most of my online community is in Atlanta,
I go down to Atlanta.
Go to fucking Atlanta. And now that's where your community is.
They're going to pull up.
So like, RDV doing DJ meetups, that's another one. The community of DJs that look to him for, as like not fans, but like as supporters. So think about how you can build your community, whether it's like actual patrons. Some people who are doing like very basic like stem blends online and are posting every day, and they get this community of listeners, of scrollers who really, really like that, and now they get this crazy following. Like, that's their community. So figure out what yours is, build on it, worry about the community, don't worry about the followers. That is my 2 cents for the day.
Don't fake the funk.
Give me snacks, baby.
Speaking of community,
yes.
we're getting the comments in here. Shout out Tried and Trude on YouTube and DJ Henny.
Henny!
What's up, baby? Guys, I said it earlier at the beginning of the show. If you're on Instagram, get on the YouTube. Watch us live on YouTube right now. Top commenter. I'm paying for your first month of heavy hits. Come on. Get over there. What are you doing? I'm going to start commenting. I'll pay for my own fucking first month.
Bro,
Jesus.
I'm currently the top commenter, and I'm not even a DJ. What are we doing?
I know, man. Crazy. If you're on Instagram, get on the YouTube.
Oh, man. Cammy, talk to us. Sorry.
No, you're good. I just heard the YouTube in the background. So crazy controversy, huh? What a 180, what a whirlwind for Fenix Flexin here. Guys, low key, love the song, Rubbers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one. It's one of those songs you start walking around the house and singing to yourself. But I remember as soon as the song came out, a lot of people like, this is a little robotic, some would say. Some would say potentially AI. AI detected. And dude, I'm on one. And and so apparently, a lot of people online were speculating. Especially some couple major producers are like, they pulled up examples like, hey, this is definitely AI, blah blah blah. And Fenix Flexin was pushing back on it. Nah, I never used AI, whatever. And then
he said it not on the recording. He said no AI on the recording.
I'll get there. He said he did not use AI.
Okay.
Turns out the software that he actually used to make Rubbers on came out and was like, no, this is definitely from our software. This is definitely ours. Even I think he posted a video too of like his Ableton or something like that, and like there were stems from the AI, like it was clearly marked as like AI or something like that. So he was like, "No, I made it," and it's like made by whatever Sonato or whatever it's called. So Sonato came out and like, "Nah, it's definitely us." So. He totally made a 180. Dylan's loving it. Fenix Flexin totally made a 180. He was like, well, I never said I didn't use AI. I said I didn't use AI in the recording. So now it's all about semantics. So let me ask you a question here, dude. I feel like this topic keeps coming up. This song obviously got a bunch of recognition. Started making some moves. I know it was making some moves in nightlife and everything. People getting a ton of streams. How are we supposed to feel about this? It's a AI generated song. You used elements of the song from basically a robot. What do we feel? Where is this in music right now? How does AI fit into music right now?
It's in 5 years, we are not going to care anymore. What? Yeah, because you have to remember this. There was a time where live bands, live instrumentation, recording the live instruments, right? You needed someone, whether it was a session guitarist, session keyboardist, like, to be able to make the beats or whatever, make the song, produce the song. And then it went from analog to digital, right? Samples, right? Where it's fake instruments, fake sounds, or digital sounds, rather. And now people are not using live instrumentation anymore and are using these digital samples to be able to make fully produced songs. You know, when we think about electronic music, you know, any kind of like Roland, you know, synthesizer sampler, or any kind of like, the 808, you know, is not like it's a digital and like EJ, help me out. An 808 like is not a natural, like, not natural, but like I can't think of the word. You know do you know what I'm saying?
I would just say it's not created digitally.
Yeah, it's not
like
an actual bass. It's not from a bass.
It's not an actual like bass. So like
it's not like a live recording.
Right, exactly.
It's a digital creation.
So I'm sure at that time, whenever the fuck that was, that instrumentalists were like, yo, this isn't real. This isn't real music. These aren't real instruments. These aren't real sounds. So like, is this cheating? Because now you don't need to like, I need to hire the best
drummer.
I need to hire the best guitarist to like do the recording and be able to like get the best product from there. I can just do it digitally. And then now more than ever, like you get a Fruity Loops and you get these splice loops, and like you just throw them in and you can kind of enhance them and whatever. So we were already doing a version of this in a sense. This is just the next step.
Yeah, but now you're not even doing it.
But what I'm saying is,
I get what you're saying.
In the past generations of music production, there was some kind of technological advancement that like people were like, oh, that's cheating. Oh, like you're not doing the real thing. Da 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 da. And then you kind of just get over it because it becomes normalized. Am I a fan of it necessarily? Not necessarily, but like, this is just the next version of that.
But okay, all right, I get what you're saying, but to that point, like I look at the accomplishments, the musical accomplishments from the days with limited technology more than how I look at modern day music or music from like the 2000s, 2010s to like now. Like I will always have an asterisk. Like when we're talking about music made with like live instrumentation and everything. I think that's paramount. That's fantastic. Now we're just taking it out of like people's hands more and more to eventually now they're not even doing anything except, hey, make this song for me, typing into a keyboard. Like, I don't think there's anything that's not artistry, in my opinion. That's not artistry.
I think too, it's a slow progression. Like you said, it's like just another step. And I think it's like any like teenager in their bedroom can just have a DAW and make a beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that makes it harder to like stand out because everyone has the same tools. And like, not that like the skill ceiling's lower, but it's like it's easier to like make a quote unquote good beat because of the resources you have. And like, so I think it's like, 5-10 years from now, if everyone's pumping out these AI songs, it's like one, like you said, like, yeah, you lose the artistry and all that, but it's going to be like even that much more harder to like stand
It
out.
becomes the new baseline.
Right. Like
Yeah.
if so and so makes a good song, but it's AI, it's like literally anyone in the world
gonna
can
sound the
do
same,
that
too.
same thing.
It's gonna sound the same. Music's gonna sound
know?
like very similar.
A. Romero in the YouTube comments, I see the value of AI in music production, but when it starts doing everything for you, you lose the most important part of the music, ... yourself. Certified in the YouTube comments, but I feel like we've grown so far from using instruments when you look at people like Fred again, when he just be making random sounds and makes music out of it. DJ Rosie in the YouTube comments, Ghetto Love Story is another dope song, but was assisted with AI. A. Romero responding, I've watched Fred again cook live plenty of times, and 85% of his production is using instruments. The point I'm trying to make ultimately is just that, like, this is just the next advancement. I think even when we go back to just DJing alone, like, there was a point where he was vinyl, needles, and then you bring in Serato, and then you bring in the Serato box, and then you bring in control vinyl, and then you bring in phase, and now you're bringing in stems. It is at some point a feature or advancement that someone that was older or that has been doing it the old way is gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? Like even with stems, like I remember I was one of these people like finding loop, like the actual acapella,
Same.
finding the actual acapella loop, and then actually mixing it and like not really being able to like do multiple songs, like, you know what I mean? Because you can't just like press one button and it does it.
Right.
Like, and then stems comes in and I'm like, okay, like I can either complain about it or I can just like get with it.
Adapt it.
Or
Yeah.
adapt to it. But I do think it's like it will create inevitably another baseline of like, sure, more people have the ability to be able to make music because of AI, but like, does it at some point increase the quality because you have to be that much more of a gangster in fucking production to be able to like stand out in it?
I think it. I feel like without AI only survives with the human expression, and if you keep building on top of AI, then most humans are AI is gonna be like, oh, damn, I'm just gonna copy another AI slop, music track. Like then the human expression behind music is gonna just dwindle down. To a point that like you're not gonna get a lot of human artists out there to want to make music because the industry is just saying, like, even Timbaland is such a big proponent of making AI music now. So you're going to get a bunch of new record labels, producers, our artists are going to push for this now. So what becomes the point of just like a human creating art and only AI relies on human expression?
So and this is the direction we're heading in. It's just opening the door to a bunch of issues. What it's going to come to, I feel like, bro, what's
Nothing. I was gonna make a joke, but I'll see if I can fit it later. Just go. I'm sorry. I killed your vibe. Go. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I just think that what's gonna happen down the road is one of these songs is gonna be like just such an undeniable massive hit. Artists used AI, right? Once the Grammys start accepting this, and potentially it's up for like a Grammy or something like that. Okay,
the Grammys
You guys
is a
see-
whole other.
See,
the
okay,
Grammys
okay.
are- yeah,
This
the
is what I'm
Grammys
saying.
are-
I'm just opening up. This is opening up the door. I'm telling you, dude. I hope it gets to this point because then that's a real conversation, right? Now it's like, oh shit, like, are we gonna take away all the accomplishments of real fucking people and put it against fucking robots? Like, I'm just like so dead against it, and maybe I'm crazy, but what I think is going to happen, like one of these songs is going to get billions and billions of streams, raking in so much money. The AI software companies are going to want to cut.
Yep.
That's another. So I think once that starts happening,
How do you regulate that?
how do you regulate it? But once that starts happening, I think that's going to change, hopefully, the trajectory of people using it and deter people from using it. But dude, I just can't get behind it, bro.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's so new. I think, Certified in the comments mentioned ghostwriting. This is very similar to ghostwriting for rappers. This being
But at least someone's doing it.
But at least someone's doing it. That's fair. I think it's just something that like, you're hurting yourself if you're not using it because everyone else is using it to a certain extent. I'm just speaking kind of like objectively, not subjectively. And I think that's just what it's gonna kind of turn into, and that there's gonna be a point where like, oh wow, like music is becoming so unique now because things that maybe weren't able to be done by the human hand, let's say, is now possible, is now achievable. Maybe that could be a direction. Like I don't really know. It could be great. It could be bad.
Sorry, EJ. I'm gonna chime in here. Another potential issue, right? What's to stop, right? So I know there's legitimate AI artists, like just fake AI generated artists, right? What's to stop a record label making an AI generated artist, having the AI just completely make this guy an entire catalog, start putting money behind it, start running up the streams. Spotify now has to cut a check to all these record labels where's the money going? Right to the record label. I'm telling you, I think the big corporations like, dude, we're not going to pay you guys for this. Like, you barely put any money into this.
I mean, they're
But
kind of
streaming's-
already doing that.
Yeah,
just with
streaming's
real
not.
people.
But streaming's already not making money like that. Like at the end of the day, the real money for an artist is touring.
Yeah,
Bro.
bro.
No, stop,
I was
stop.
gonna say,
I said to the artist, but the money is going to the record labels. The streaming money is going to the record labels, not the artist.
If
they get a cut, but like it's pennies.
If they create another superstar, right? That is, the music's amazing, the branding's amazing, the look is amazing. Like it is fully AI generated. If it's a banger, it's a banger. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you like the music, do you become a fan, or are you just against it because they're not real? That's question one. And then two, at the end of the day, a star can really, as far as our current day and age, can really only develop through touring and through performing. That is like the number one way that an artist builds and expands. So at the end
like social media, like
yes and no.
I guess
yes
you could,
and no.
There's
Like,
AI influencers and shit, but like,
but I can name. I'm not going to, but I can name a few artists that have 1 million followers on Instagram and do all the things that they're supposed to do that cannot get a $5,000, $10,000 booking at a small venue or a club because ain't no one showing up. I'll say that right now. So at the end of the day, the real proof of fandom and superstardom is ticket sales. That is like, at least right now where we stand right now, there are big rap superstars right now that can't sell out an arena, that can't sell out, a House of Blues or whatever. And that is very telling of their actual fandom, their actual superstardom. So I think at the end of the day, that's something that's going to ultimately keep the AI artist development at bay.
Rosie, good comment. He said that's going to happen soon. Unfortunately, concerts would be like Gorillaz or the famous Japanese animated artist.
First of all, I fucking love the Gorillaz. And the thing is, yeah, like it has been done in different versions. If you think about like the ABBA fucking holograms, like that's a fucking show I want to fucking go to if it wasn't $1 million. Like there's different versions and different like angles where this is already existing, but it's like. Again, I think the thing is like the doors that it opens. So I think like let's use the ABBA holograms, right? It is cool because you get to see ABBA perform at their prime, even though they're fucking 80 years old now. That is cool, and that is like a very dope experience. Cool. The Gorillaz was cool because it was this animated band that like had storytelling and had shows and like music videos, and like they all had their own personalities that weren't necessarily that you could kind of just make up. And it made this for this really cool like concept, and then you could go see them live. But at the end of the day, what's his fucking name? The lead singer of Blur is like there is a human behind it, so that's why it was okay. But that shit, the Gorillaz have been around for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's versions of all this shit that's been going on. Now this is kind of like putting it all together. So like, who's to say at that point that it is bad that if there's an artist that is AI, but you fuck with them, they make like really fire music, and you actually fuck with them, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go on tour and have this like hologram concept. That's still pretty fucking cool too. Like the question ultimately is who was the money going to? Who are you ultimately supporting? Right? Is it just a fucking record label and a bunch of big?
That's
wigs?
exactly what it's going
like,
to.
It's a bunch of suit and ties that like you're ultimately giving the money to. That is like where it gets really really tough. But like it's like currently happening now. Like even if we think about like children's music, like a lot of this shit is just kind of like I don't think there's like a fucking super talented 16-year-old artist in his basement like cooking up songs for fucking Nickelodeon. You know what I mean? Like these are just like
but like all the Disney
corporate
movies used to. You know what I mean?
But these are all just like corporate ass like formulas that like know how to speak to like small children. So like they put the music together and then they sell fucking millions. Like it's already all this shit's been happening at different levels and different angles and different sides already. Like this is just. It would just be kind of coming together at our eye level, I guess, at this point.
Bobblehead with a good comment. He said, this is already starting to hit the courts. I believe ASCAP is fighting sites like Suno to stop record labels from cutting artists out.
I mean, currently right now you can't copyright, music or any type of art that is made by AI because the Supreme Court made that. But still at this point, like even what Cammy said, like what what's going to stop for the record labels to get a cut? And I also want to bring up how's it going to affect DJ now? Are DJs that going to just rely on AI music just to like get people to start dancing now? Hopefully, on the next 5 years. Hopefully not. But I'm just thinking about the future now.
Well, I'll say
but
this.
if the song works, it works. No.
I'll say this.
I mean, I fucking hated it, but I get it.
I'll say this. I've already had to play an AI song. I did a wedding a couple months ago, and it was like a mother-son dance, and the mom picked the song, and it was an AI song.
Wait, how does she know the song? What song was it?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it was an AI artist, and she heard it. She probably had no idea it was AI. But it was an AI song.
But
artist,
like Iron was mentioned in the comments on YouTube. Like that was a song that a lot of DJs were
because
playing.
of the vocals. Yeah, everybody think that the lady vocals was like missing.
Trending audio.
My point is if it's a banger, it's a banger. Why does it matter?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't. We're not getting affected.
We give the people what they want.
Yeah,
if people want it.
But do we care because it's not affecting us, or are we saying that because at the end of the day, these are AI is going to affect DJing soon?
All the artists that you play that are real and that have been making music, you don't see their money anyway. You know what I'm saying? So like, now who cares? But like, that doesn't really affect us if we're playing an AI track or not. At the end of the day, we're just trying to get the people moving. If the song fucking rings, then it rings. No?
Yeah, I agree with you in that. Because we're not in that sphere, if that makes sense. Like if we're in a live setting, like a live club setting, we're not playing a part in like how the money's getting moved between like artists or AI, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I know that you mentioned
I was going to tell you
off air. You mentioned AI like edits.
So I was telling Snacks that I used Suno actually to make an edit of a DJ that I follow very religiously, and I was like, hey, make this edit of like a song. The song was Fiend, but make it into this certain edit, and then actually came out like one-to-one, really the same. It had the break intro really good too. And I was like, damn. Like,
so AI made you an edit that you found was actually like very, very good.
Yeah.
And it made it within a few seconds.
Yes.
Off of a prompt that you get.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's interesting. That is tough. I think
Did you put your name on it?
Fuck no.
Well,
I think that's tough.
I wouldn't do that.
I
Because that's like wrong for me.
At the end of the day, that like is more of just a question of like integrity. You know what I'm saying? But I think like we use an AI for stems. Do we not?
what do you mean?
Lala AI,
Yeah, it's a stem splitter though.
but it's an AI.
Well, I don't anymore. I have it on Ableton. I'm just saying.
That's an AI too.
That's
That's
the
an
same as
AI
using
too.
auto tune for a song. Like it's just it's a tool.
It is, but it isn't.
It's a
though.
tool.
We're not generating something that doesn't exist. It's literally taking hey, I want these frequencies removed. Like is it an AI tool? I don't know, chat. You tell me.
It technically is. Like
I'm not asking AI.
AI is in the name. It's Lala.ai.
I guess.
Yeah, so it's a splitter though. But like it's not. It's like same use like the echo effect or you know what I mean. It's just you're just adding.
But that's the point I'm saying earlier. There was a point where you had to manually do an echo. You would scratch and with the up fader, put the volume down, and that was how you made the echo effect. Then there was a point where a mixer came out, and now by the press of a button, you could do the echo effect. That's my point. There's been versions of this in our history that at first someone was like, oh, whoa, like we used to real dudes like really do it like this, and then it just got accepted across the masses. So that's what I'm saying. There's a point where in 5-10 years, no one's gonna fucking care because it's gonna be so normalized in what we're doing. You see what I'm saying?
So back to my edit. Back to my edit conversation. I'm just saying, for a person that you make edits, monthly, how do you feel that some guys be like, hey, I'm just going to go to do Snacks Patreon, get a few edits that I like, and then I'm just going to be like, okay, use Suno to be like, okay, fine, just make something like this, one-to-one.
Dylan, that's probably pause 1 second. That is the most intelligent, well thought out question you've probably ever had on the show.
Hey, Dylan, we're proud of you, man.
Great job, man.
Thank you.
W's in the chat.
W's in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it becomes a question of integrity. Like if someone was really like taking my edits or whoever's edits and be like, yo, give me 5 different versions of these bitches. It's like, all right, bro, like if that's how you want to move through your gigs, if that's how you're gonna make your set sound better, whatever. You know what I mean? I can't really control that. I can't really be worried about one or two people, but I don't know. Like it's like at the end of the day, talent is talent. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, ability is ability, and so if that's your way around it, that's cool. But like
we're still way more creative.
I'm happy that I can kind of do it in the way that I was doing. I don't know. Like it is what it is at this point. Like, but I think getting famous off of it. I think, but again, there's been versions of it. Ghost producing, like, copying other people's shit, stealing people's music. Someone like a little guy someone that they gave their demo to you and you just took it, made it better. Like it's been happening since the beginning of time. Like, it is what it is. But that would be crazy for sure.
Fuck. What was I gonna say, dude? Oh my god. Oh yeah. I was gonna say in terms of like AI curation, just like, and this goes beyond music. It's worth noting that like the knowledge that the AI has is based on like current. Like it only knows what exists, so you can't
be proactively.
You can't you can't realistically tell the music AI to make you something that sounds 100% new and unique because it only knows what already exists. So if you're trying to make an edit or a beat or whatever that sounds new and innovative, you can't do that with AI. It can try, but like it doesn't know what new is. It only knows what already exists.
That's a great point. It's not like
it's kind of beautiful.
That's amazing. Sensational, dude. Yeah, that's a really really good point. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. You just blew my mind.
What is the meaning of life?
Shit.
No, that's a good point. I mean, we'll see what happens in the next few years. This was an awesome discussion. I know before we wrap, I wanted to hand the reins to Cammy to explain a few things from, again, our partners over at Heavy Hits, Cammy V.
Thank you, Snacks. Thank you, Snacksington. Guys, Heavy Hits got a brand new tool on their website for you to use. It's called Gig Prep. Funny enough, it does utilize AI.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure this uses AI.
It definitely does use AI. Great conversation we just had about it. But what's really cool about it, I was telling Snacks, can you pull up Heavy Hits right now?
Oh, yes, sir.
Because we might actually have to utilize this right here. So basically, with the Gig Prep AI feature on Heavy Hits, it's a dope concept. It has a guided prompt where you fill out the details of your gig, and it pulls a few crates together for you based on their catalog that they have on the website, specifically for the gig that you're trying to do. So, for example,
I have the guided mode up here. So basically, I clicked Gig Prep. It is still in beta, but it is, again, as Cammy was describing, an AR offering that Heavy Hits does have. Gig Prep. Describe your gig to get AI-powered track discovery and inspiration. So here in our guided mode, it says here in a prompt, I have a primetime gig lasting about 1 hour. I'm playing lounge R&B into dance floor classics. Okay? It's just lounge R&B into dance floor classics. For a 25 to 65-year-old crowd at a rooftop bar / wedding reception. Okay? Now, that is the problem. Immediately, it starts bringing up, like as I was populating the info, the prompts, it immediately in the bottom was providing different crates that are already in, like different playlists that are already on the Heavy Hits website. For example, Patrick Zern's Wedding Reception crate. Wedding Classics crate. Wedding Must Play by DJ Rex. Modern Wedding. These are all different crates that I could just
pull from, check them out, pull from.
And then so there's a button, and then so there's a couple things you can toggle: clean versus dirty versions. There's quick starts, like other prompts that you can kind of just throw in: hip hop club, EDM night, college party, birthday bash. All these different things that can kind of help, kind of tailor your prompting here. Plan. There's a button, big purple button. Plan my set. It is planning. It is planning. It is planning. And now I have 2 options here: lounge, R&B vibes, and dance floor classics. And then I'm able to, there's a button back on the bottom here to build tracks, and I can start adding different tracks within the gig prep. There's different suggestions, and yeah, it's a really interesting way to kind of organize your tracks. Right now it is providing me, it just spit a bunch of tracks here. So in order: Madonna, Hung Up; Prince, When Doves Cry; Fleetwood Mac, Dreams; the Archie, Sugar Sugar; Nina Sky, Move Your Body; Janet Jackson, When I Think of You; Kool and the Gang, Celebration; Corona, The Rhythm of the Night. So these are some of the suggestions that they provided based on the prompts that I gave.
Yeah.
Again, lounge, R&B into dance floor classics for a 25 to 60-year-old crowd at a rooftop bar, wedding reception. So very quick, really in the moment, gig prep on heavy hits here.
Yeah, I think what's really cool about it is, you know, for example, like if you're doing a club, and it's like, hey, like this happened to me actually last month. It was like, hey, the dance hall party that was happening down the street isn't happening. They're closing that venue, but they're gonna pull up to your gig tonight. So it's like, oh snap! All right, like I gotta go take a look at, you know, maybe brush up on some of the new dance hall, whatever. You can kind of punch that in, and it'll pull out like some crates for you, some of the newer dancehall records, and that way you can start to, you know, incorporate. Dude, you good, bro? Everyone's fucking laughing today while I'm talking.
I'm just thinking about what you said before we started the show.
What did I say before the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Bomba Glat. So
Yo, let me get the latest Beans record.
yo, if you guys want to tell that, you can.
I'm not gonna be able to tell it. Like, just keep going. What you're saying.
Damn. I mean, we were having a good episode. I feel like every time I grab the mic, I just fucking fail miserably today.
No, you're doing great.
Thank you, bro.
DJ Kenny V.
Yeah, so again, it's a great tool to be able to use and pull out new music or genres that you're not too familiar with. It does the heavy lifting for you. Heavy hits, man. Get on there.
Yeah.
And I'm paying for your first month. Top commenter.
Yeah, shout out everybody in the comments right now. Living large. Liam, what's up, baby? But yeah, gig prep, really, really awesome tool. And there are a bunch of new like kind of preparation tools, you know, just kind of across the market. So, you know, the fact that this is already built in and integrated in your record pool is huge. Dylan.
What genre of music would you feel like you would want to get more gig prepped for if you were to choose? For me, I think it's like rock. I think I could get more in my rock crate. Like,
Thing about rock is once you figure it out, it's done. There's not
There's not newer stuff. That
true,
you
but
need to
like I feel like because I'm young enough, I know like the 80s, 90s rock, but I don't want to know more like the 70s stuff like that. I'm trying to get more into that because I've done a little bit more gigs where not required me to play more, but I have been in situations where like, okay, maybe I should have just prepared for more.
Yeah, your next session, you should spend an hour or two doing whatever kind of prep you can to like get the crates together, and then another hour of you doing a full rock set. You know what I mean? And like pretending like you have a crowd in front of you and like doing it, and then you will have that set, save it, put it, and now you are done organizing rock for the rest of your life.
Yeah, just go to a Patriots game and then just turn on your Shazam and you'll be
DJ
good.
Nix, thank you, brother. For real, like country is a great one.
Yeah.
Country is actually because country still comes out with new shit. By
the way.
That song fucking cranks, dude. That song's so good.
Yeah, she's fire.
And
fire.
country's a good one. I say just every so often, just because a lot of stuff does come out. I think, and dance halls just changed so much and is constantly changing.
That's such a big one for me.
Yeah, dance hall's
The
one
new
that
dance hall, you got to be
every like quarter. I dive in super hard. There's still, and I still do a bunch of like dance, like Afro-Caribbean events where like I need to make sure I'm polished up and stuff.
Yeah.
So
not that the classics won't hit, but it is very much one of those genres. It's like
you got to
during
know the
prime
new
time,
stuff.
you need to know
need
the
to
new
ring
stuff.
off the new
Otherwise,
shit.
people are gonna be looking at you like crazy.
That just reminded me, like I just saw a post online that people are just so tired of like and this is very common R&B. People always talking about, oh man, there's such new R&B to play. Why people keep playing like the Tevin Campbells or the Keisha Coles and stuff like that. So that's such a big
R&B is so interesting in that regard, because like I
There's
think
only go ahead.
So I think there's like I think 90s 2000s is like the golden era of R&B, but I think there's too many low-hanging fruit songs within that generation or that genre. I think what's better is to find more like of the B-sides in those decades. New R&B is just like I can't explain it. Like it's like there's random ones that are so fucking good that like you have to play. Mutt, Folded, SZA had a crazy run where she was just giving us fucking 8 joints that we could just fucking Summer Walker,
LMA,
every LMA, yeah. But like then there's a huge drop off, and then it's like D side R&B. Like it's just like R&B that you like if you played out, it's someone that you have to like.
It's not gonna resonate.
You have to like really be an R&B lover to really know. DJ Toomey in the comments on Instagram. Country's becoming the #1 do not play at weddings, which I think is very interesting because I still get a lot of country requests. I just did a very country heavy wedding this year, so I was definitely heavy in the research game, trying to make sure I was up to date. And that was interesting.
It's either all in on country or there's no in between. It's either all in on country or don't play country at all. That's basically how those go.
Yeah. We have. I feel like I need to update my music with work and DJing 2 to 3 times a week. Tend to play the same genre. Yeah, I mean, I think it really depends on kind of the gigs that you're doing and getting. Like if you're doing the same, like again, back to the residency conversation. Like if you're doing the same crowd, the same types of venues, week in, week out. What's just the 1 or 2 new edits, 1 or 2 new tracks that are coming out. But if you're really doing this type of event, that type of event, you you really got a lot to be on top of. These tools can really help.
Cut down on the research
cut down on that time. But yeah, man, it's just good to have any kind of resource. I know a lot of people do the send me your country crate, send me your dancehall crate, and like that's fine and that's cool, and like if you have somebody who's really good at that, but at the end of the day you need to figure out how to piece it together. And figure out like what songs are supposed to go together. You know what I'm saying? Like and like how to drop certain songs. Again, like dancehall is such a good example of this, that like
100%
dancehall you have to drop it a certain way
at the right spot,
like so like, or else
could be like towards the end of the song.
It could be in the middle.
Yeah.
Like I forgot what fucking song it was, but I think it's a Vibes Cartel and Shensia song where like people only want to hear the Shensia verse. So and then if you play the song and don't play the Shensia verse, you pretty much like it's almost worse. Yeah, it's almost worse. So it's like things like that, like till you say there's a way that you play it.
Yeah,
like there's yeah, like there's like a way that like if you just drop it, you're like, okay, clearly this person doesn't know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So like things like that. But I think there's so many resources that like when it comes to your research, like don't just download heavy hits as like top 10 or whatever. Like obviously like look into those and they're popular for a reason, but like understand how they're being used and like where they fit in context. You know what I'm saying? Like there are sets I listen to where I'm like, okay, you clearly just downloaded the top 10 whatever of your record.
I'm just
pool,
throwing shit.
and
Hey, I played the new stuff.
Yeah.
That's why you got to listen to some sets too. You got to listen to the DJ sets for sure.
Mixcloud is out there.
Yeah, just listen to like a lot of DJ sets. There's so many DJs. Oh my god, more than ever. There's so many DJ sets online. Just listen to them. Like listen to someone who's like really good at that niche, and consume it.
Actually, shout out everyone in the chat right now. I've been doing a lot of running, and I'm doing a lot of longer runs now. So rather than listening to a Spotify playlist, if you got some good mixes, put your boy on. If you recorded a mix, send it to me, bro. I'll listen to it on my runs.
Absolutely.
Please
do.
do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. The comments were live today. So much fun. Such great energy. Make sure that you stay tuned to when we post the clips here. Get involved. We love when you guys get involved. We love when you guys start arguing and shit. And we love you. So once again, the promo code is BIKTDJ. We're gonna announce at some point the top commenter. Do we already know who that is? How do we announce that?
Let's check it out right now.
Can we figure that out right now? Oh, there's a number on it.
Yep,
right?
number 1, certified
winner.
All right, brother. Certified. Shoot me a text. Shoot me a DM. Send me your Venmo. I got your first month of heavy hits. Shout out Heavy Hits, man. Best sponsor in the game.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time, guys. Have a good night.
Peace.
But I know the DJ, yeah, I know the vibe. #1 podcast, where the truth comes alive. Music, business, nightlife, city on fire. Powered by dope intent, we just keep climbing higher. We talk beats, break bread, hustle moves in the dark. Industry secrets with a laugh, leaving marks from the booth to the club to the pop culture talk. We keep it uncut.